Your Excellency, my brother priests, Holy Deacon, graduates, and everybody who's here who loves you, or if there's anybody here who doesn't love you, but everybody, welcome. Every year when I have the privilege of being allowed to preach at the Baccalaureate Mass, I always go through the ritual in the week or two before the graduation of asking different seniors at different times what they want me to preach about or not preach about. And this year there were so many answers that I got. I'm like, that would be good. Well, that would be good. Well, that would be good. Okay. I got lost in all of that would be good. So I decided to do something a little selfish instead, since the bishop specifically wants this to be a mass of thanksgiving. But I thought instead of telling you what to be thankful for, I would share with you what I'm thankful for in being allowed to be here. The first is I'm grateful to be with a group of people who can make it in and out of college in 4 years, because it's taken me 9 to get to this point. But you've been a great example, so I think that's a good place to start. But seriously, 3 categories. There are opportunities that I've had while I've been here. There's the interaction with you, because interacting with you is different than everything I hear about young adults in the world, and I'll be more specific. And then finally, one little practical piece of advice. In terms of opportunities, getting to know each of you as an individual person, with your combination of strengths and weaknesses and talents and abilities and concerns and issues. And each of you is a manifestation of the glory of God. And I can't really put into words how important that's been to me, to be allowed to, whether it's just the brief contact in the confessional, to something in the Commons, to a longer appointment, but just getting to know you, and not you as you, but also all of the other graduates who you represent. Part of that was the experience of being humbled the first couple of years that I was here by you, because I would sit in the Commons, whether it was a lunch or at dinner, and you'd go on and on about some literary figure or some philosophical figure or someone from history and what they said or what they did. I would sit there and nod my head like I knew what you were talking about. And I was thinking, wow, my liberal arts education was terrible compared to yours. And so it was inspiring, because what I finally began to do is to both ask of you, but also to ask of the faculty's suggestions for who could I read, who should I read, what should I read, really for the purpose of getting caught up with you so I don't feel like such a knucklehead sitting there at lunch and dinner. And it actually transformed, it helped me both intellectually, but it also helped my spiritual life in a really fundamental way. Because one of the first books that was recommended to me was the book Pollyanna, which is so simple. It's like a novel about an 11-year-old girl, 4 11-year-old girls, and I'm sitting there devouring going, this is the best thing I've ever read in my life. I don't know what that means, okay, but it's true. But what it brought home to me was the value of gratitude. And so in the 7 years that have followed, it was over Christmas that I read it. Other than the Bible, there is no book I've recommended more often than Pollyanna, because it's such a simple biblical way of describing the virtue of gratitude. And I've really come to the conclusion that it's almost a cheating way of being able to proceed in holiness. That's directly because of being humbled by all of you and a good suggestion from one of the faculty. So it's actually changed how I pray. It's not just I know stuff and I can recommend stuff, but interiorly I'm different because of it. Another thing that I'm better off for because of you is the opportunity to teach you. So there have been different classes and different circumstances. I've been reassured from my experience in the classroom. This is serious. I am not a good teacher. I know that. I've learned that now. I've learned I'm not good at tests. I'm not good at grades. I've discovered I really love to talk about this stuff with all of you, but I'm blown away by the faculty doing what they do and being able to be both good teachers and enthused and competent and excellent, but also the practical reality of teaching. If you've never done it, it's really hard to do. You have a great faculty. And I'm especially being able to allow, just sort of in my little way, to stand next to them and say, I taught something too. And I'm like, but I can't do it the way they do it. So they're amazing for that. In terms of young adults, there's a lot of criticism of young adults and a lot of doomsaying about young adults and young adults in the world. And the young adults are our future, and look at them, and they're all sorts of negativity. Well, I'll agree with the general critics that you're all knuckleheads. You are. You're knuckleheads. I won't be specific, but you are knuckleheads. Having said that, after 9 years, I have more hope for the future of the church now than I have ever had in my life as a priest. So I'm at almost 36 years. When I say I have more hope, those aren't just words. And if anybody is at all critical, I'll go, hang on, let me tell you what I've experienced. And then I have the chance to tell stories about you. And people go, is this real? And I go, this is real. They're real. This is a real place. When I first got here, I looked around after about 6 months and I said, well, it's definitely Catholic, but it's not Catholic like I've ever known Catholic before. It's kind of a weird Catholic place. Spectacular, spectacular. And so you've given me hope. Whether you feel it inside of yourself or not, I have hope that I didn't have when I came here. And it's not like I was a doomsayer when I came here. But in terms of you being able to go out in the world, and whether it's like make tiny changes in a place or a family or a parish or a business, or do grand things, I have hope that whatever you set your mind to, if you're cooperating with the grace of God, you will be able to accomplish it. And part of what I'm looking forward to in the years to come is just to hear stories about what you accomplish and what you do, or just how good you are. My only piece of advice, there's lots of advice to give, is to say the rosary daily. If we stay close to Our Lady, it's amazing what can happen. If we stay close to Our Lady, it's amazing the crosses we can carry. If we stay close to a lady, it's amazing what we'll be able to do. Stay close to Our Lady.